Hello, hello, friends. So great to see everyone. Welcome, welcome. So glad that you're all here tonight. So excited for tonight. I hope you are too. I hope you are too. So, what I would love, because we have so many new people in our community, and maybe you haven't been on a growth session with me on Thursday nights, which is normally what we do at 7 o'clock Central on Thursday nights, is we do these weekly growth sessions. But while we're waiting, because we'll start officially probably 5 minutes or so after the hour, I would love to know where you are from, like where you live. So if you want to drop city and state in the chat, that would be amazing. You can drop your name in there too. If it doesn't show up, maybe your name. I know sometimes it's like, iPhone 5 or that kind of thing. But I would love to know where you are calling in from. I live in St. Louis, Missouri, but I'm originally from Wisconsin. So would love to know where you are. Let's see. Who do we got in the chat? Let's see. We've got Oxford, Mass, from Toby and Emily in Houston, Texas. We've got April in Katy, Texas. Lisa's in Georgia, Vermont. Okay, love it. Michelle is in New Jersey. Dolores, home is where the pups are, New Jersey and Pennsylvania. Of course, that's always the truth, right? Always wherever our pups are. Karen is from Shingle Springs, California. Love it. Another California. Kim from Redding, California. Diane from Bancroft, South Dakota. Kimberly is from Washington. Awesome. Volta from Ohio. Oh, Jeannie from Arnold. Hey, you're my neighbor. You totally are my neighbor. I'm actually not in St. Louis. I mean, technically I'm in Wildwood, but nobody knows where that is. Well, you probably do. Let's see. Eagleville, PA. Nice. Tom's River. Brenda from Tom's River, New Jersey. Becky's from San Ramon, California. I love all of these. I gotta let some more people in. Ruth from Southeast Kansas. Lori from Indianapolis, Indiana. I was just over in Indiana for a race this past weekend. Karen's from Alden, New York, just outside Buffalo. Mel is from New Boston, New Hampshire. Alicia, another Indianapolis, Indiana. Anne from Colchester, Vermont. Love it. Janine from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Alicia from Oskaloosa, Iowa. Did I say that right? Oskaloosa. That's quite a name. I love that. Iowa, only in Iowa, right? And I can say that because, I feel like Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, we're kind of like, our own little deal, right? Dee Dee's from Illinois. Love it. Mary's coming in from Mass. Love it. If you just joined us, I gotta let some more people in. If you just joined us, what we're dropping in the chat, we're gonna give it a couple more minutes as people kind of get settled. So if you need to whip off the bra, get the get the cold beverage, get in some comfy clothes, grab a journal, close your door, lock your room. Please feel free to do that. We got a few more minutes. And if you just joined us, I would love to know in the chat, who are you and where are you? Where are you at? Where you live? We got lots. I love to see where we got ladies from all across the country. I am in St. Louis. I'm in St. Louis, Missouri. So would love to know where you are at tonight. If you're driving, if you're driving, you don't have to share, right? But if you're able to share, would love to know where you are. And we will get started in just a couple of minutes. Amber's from Utah. Love that. Oh, Mary's from Minnesota. We have a couple of ladies in our program from Minnesota. Catherine from North Carolina. Yeah, love it. Coast to coast, we are. Coast to coast, right? Jill's in Denver, Colorado. Oh, Wendy's in British Columbia. Love that. Deborah's in Utah. This is so great. You guys are making me want to go travel. I'm gonna go travel. Deborah, North Dallas, born and raised in St. Louis. Oh, that's so crazy. Crazy. Nicole from Wisconsin. My Wisconsin sister. Because let's be honest, I mean, my heart still kind of resides in Wisconsin, really. You don't live someplace for the better part of 35 years and not still hold a special part. So love that, Nicole. Kristen from Pennsylvania, Crystal from Michigan, Tammy from Florida. Love it. If you are just joining us, I would love to know where you are joining us from tonight. I would just love to know. I just love to see how our ladies are just, spread out. A lot of people, when I tell them what I do, they're like, oh, so you just work with people in St. Louis? And I was like, no, no, I work with women all over the country. And I hope to be able to come visit. I don't know, maybe all of you, right? Let's see, we've got Jane is from Cambridge, Minnesota. Heather from Houston, Texas. Mandy from Fort Worth, Texas. We got Texas representing tonight here. Tanya from Mission Viejo, I think I pronounced that right, California. Um, if I pronounce your city and state or city wrong or your name wrong, I'm so sorry, right? And then Vakia from Nashville. Oh, you're not too far from me either. One of our gals in our group is also from Nashville. And Tony from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We got a lot of Florida too. So I love this. So good. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing in the chat. And the biggest reason I asked you to do that is because we are going to use the chat a little bit tonight. So when we go through the presentation, you can feel free to have cameras on or off. Oh, Amarillo, Texas, Serena. Oh, thank you. Cameras on or off. I'm going to be, sharing my screen, which you probably should already be able to see my screen, I believe. Be able to, saying starting soon. So feel free to go ahead and have your camera off as we go through, and then we'll just make sure that everybody is muted. But we will have some time. So this is a little bit different than our weekly growth session, right? So we're not doing there's no coaching this week. We will get back to that. We will have a growth session next week. Stay tuned because the topic, I don't know, it doesn't beat tonight's topic, but next week is going to be really, really good growth session. So that will be back to this time, and it's a different link, and you can look for more information coming on that. But I'm going to go ahead and minimize some of the things that I've got going on. I just got to make sure that okay. I am recording because sometimes Cheryl has a little snafu with recording. So, all right, let's get this chat closed. That closed. So many boxes. Does anybody feel like there's just so many boxes? Okay. All righty. Okay, thank you for participating in the geography trivia, right? Well, first of all, welcome. I am so glad that you're here tonight. I have named this masterclass, Will I Ever Be Okay Again? Because frankly, that is the exact question I asked myself after my divorce. And it's one of the questions that so many women like you ask in our Facebook group, and also when I first start chatting with women. And so I'm here to say, if you are carrying shame, self-doubt, silence, and so many other emotions, you are not alone. And my goal today is I want to walk you through what I believe in my own work, my own research, and working with hundreds of women are the 3 roadblocks that keep most women stuck. And I want to show you tonight what it would look like for you to really be able to find some peace, joy, and confidence again. But before we dive in, I missed, yeah, there we go. I just want you to know that instead of just one gift, I have 2 gifts that I want to give you because, look, it means a lot to me that you're here. And so I want to gift you with 2 things. The first one is a brand new, literally just recorded somatic reset meditation. And if you're like, Cheryl, I don't even know what the hell that is, it's okay. You don't have to. But it's in a wonderful and amazing, I believe, video that you can use at any time. You can use the whole thing, which is not quite 30 minutes, or you could take little snippets of it and use it. Super powerful if you just need to reset, you need to ground, you need to center. And then second is my holiday peace guide. I know it's only September, but it's going to be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all the holidays right before we know it. So I have a holiday peace guide with 10 do's and 10 don'ts for divorced women to really be able to claim your peace during the holidays. And there's also 10 bonus journal prompts in there. So I know I've seen a couple of posts in the group about, oh my gosh, the holidays are coming. And so I know for many of us, especially if this is your first holiday, you might already be spiraling. So those are the 2 free gifts that you will get after our masterclass. All right. So how can we make the most of our time together? Look, you signed up for this. Can you give yourself this hour? I might go over a little bit, but sometimes I talk really fast, even if I try not to. But give yourself this time. Silence your phone, put it in the other room. I just took off my watch. I don't have anything on because I don't want to be distracted, right? Maybe grab a notebook, slip into your cozy clothes, grab a beverage of choice or snacks, and just be here, right? Just be all in and see how you can really just lean into what we're talking about tonight. Okay. So I want to make a promise to you tonight. I want to let you know that by the end of tonight, these 4 things, I promise you these 4 things. I promise that you're going to know how to recognize the roadblocks that have been keeping you stuck in that silence, shame, or self-doubt. We're also going to talk about what the real root cause of why healing feels so damn hard and why it's really not your fault. You're going to learn what to do instead so you can actually start rebuilding that trust in yourself. I talked a little bit about this in the Facebook Live yesterday. That self-trust is so important. And I believe you're going to start to see a path forward where peace and confidence and even joy don't feel like some far-fetched dream, but actually you have some possibility again. Okay? So that's what this hour is about. It's not just about giving you more information, overloading you with information, but I'm hoping to give you a little bit of clarity and a plan that you can use to move forward. All right, this is where we're going to have some audience participation, right? You're going to chime in and let me know here. Does this sound familiar to you? You tell everyone, oh, I'm fine, I'm great. But inside, you're numb, you're empty, you're devastated. You replay old fights or wonder over and over and over again what you could have said or done differently. You're numbing out with the wine, food, scrolling, Netflix, maybe even sleep, work. You wake up the next day feeling even worse. You keep yourself so busy, you don't have time for the tears, the pain, the heartbreak. Or how about this one? Even the small decisions, what to wear, what to eat. You second guess everything. So if one or all 5 of these sound like you, drop it in the chat. Let's see. The ladies are going to let you know that you're not alone here. What do we got in the chat? All the time, Mary says. Yep, Dolores, certainly. Yep. I've told everyone I'm not okay. Yeah, yes, 5, all 5. I know. I know. I'm so tired of people asking. I know. I know. Well, the harder part is they ask, but then they don't even really listen to your response, right? I don't know which is worse. Yeah, I struggle with people asking me, how are you? I know. I find it easier to fake it that I'm fine. I know. It is sometimes easier, isn't it? Yeah, yeah. Well, you can look through that list there and you can know that you're not alone. There are the women in this group, right? The women on this call tonight, the women in our group are carrying that exact weight. And this is where I get a little super real with you. This girl screaming, right? Everything's fine. Fine was Cheryl's word for a long time. And I've done everything that I just listed on that past screen. You could say all 5 for me. For me, it was the late night ice cream snacks because it filled this ache in my heart, at least temporarily. It was scrolling his social media, which some might call that stalking, I guess. Sometimes even driving by his new place, looking and searching for answers that I knew deep down I was never going to get from him. And maybe for you, it's some of that. Maybe it's binging out to Netflix. Maybe it's the Amazon shopping, the glasses of wine. Maybe you keep yourself so busy at work, you come home exhausted and go straight to bed. Maybe it's the house, your kids, anything to avoid sitting in the silence and the pain and our own spiraling thoughts. I get it. I did all of those things. And these things do help us survive temporarily, but they ultimately prevent us from healing. They just give us that temporary relief. But the pain, right? It's still there the next day. It doesn't go away because, we ate the ice cream or drank the wine or got the new, outfit from Amazon. And that's why I believe so many women feel like they're spinning in circles because coping is unfortunately not the same as true healing. So I want you to do a little experiment with me. Wherever you're at, as long as you're not driving and it's safe, I want you to close your eyes for me for a moment. What if you woke up and you didn't feel like you were dragging 100 pounds of emotions with you? Not spinning in circles, not numb, not instantly crying the minute you open your eyes, but just feeling okay. Not grabbing your phone first thing you do, not again laying there replaying the last fight or conversation over and over again, but you actually feel a sense of calm. Maybe even enough calm to think, you know what? I can handle today. I feel pretty good. And as we think about the holidays coming up, instead of dreading them or numbing your way through them, imagine walking in knowing you've got support. You've built a circle of people who get it, and you're not carrying it on your own anymore. Or what about the new year? Instead of saying, well, maybe next year I'll get my life together, you're already proud of the progress you've made. You've learned to set boundaries without guilt, and you've started finding your voice again. And even as we look to February, the month of love, instead of spiraling or pretending you don't care, you are taking care of yourself. You know your worth with or without a partner. And maybe you're taking yourself on a lovely dinner solo. Because these are what can happen when we stop just coping and surviving and start healing. And I believe if you start now, you could be in such a different place as we move through the holidays and start the new year. And if you didn't open your eyes, you can. And I want you to keep your eyes closed. Okay, before we go any further, because I can't quite see, we've got close to 60 women on our call tonight. And so some of you might not know me. And if you know me or if you've seen my videos in the group, maybe you just don't know my story. Maybe you're like, well, who the hell, who is this lady, right? Well, let me properly introduce myself. But I don't want to just give you the usual list of my credentials. Yes, I am a certified personal trainer. I am a trauma-informed yoga instructor, certified life and divorce coach, and I'm also the founder of Changing Lanes Wellness and the creator of the Divorce Recovery Roadmap, which is a program that I created out of my own healing journey. Of course, those things matter, but what I believe matters more is that in 2020, and if we all go back to 2020, we know what we were in the middle of, right? We were in the middle of COVID. And it was also when my 18-year marriage abruptly ended and I fell apart. And I get emotional when I tell this story because I can go back there in a split second. You see, I fell apart quietly and I wore my strong armor.
Told you that was a loss of
And I told
everything you've done,
everyone I
Russ.
was fine, but I was really a mess. My nights looked like ice cream in the dark. Yes, ice cream is my go-to. Scrolling my ex's social media until my eyes were burning. Laying in bed, tossing and turning, going over every conversation, wondering where I missed the signs. I kept my days packed with work and to-dos, often several workouts a day or house projects, so I wouldn't have to hear the silence and sit with my own thoughts and all the tears. People and my clients and friends and family would say, Cheryl, you're doing great. Wow, I can't believe how well you're handling this. And on the outside, I'm telling you, I wore that mask. I wore that mask so damn well. But inside, I was anxious. I was exhausted. I was devastated. And then I read the books and more books and listened to podcasts and more podcasts. And I went through the motions. I tried to manage it and I kept doing what I thought would help. But here's the truth. I didn't need more information. I didn't. I needed support. I needed some actual steps that I could follow. And I needed help moving from surviving to actually healing. So what I did is I built the roadmap that I wish I had back then. And that is why I do this work. Because I remember the deep desire for something that would actually help me, not just another, oh, go for a walk, listen to a meditation. It's just going to be time. And today I want to show you that things that really, truly made a difference for me, the things that can help you too. One of the things I want to point out in this slide here, and I've done this is my third or fourth master class, and you'll notice these pictures aren't of me with my kids or grandkids, and that's intentional. Because for the very first time, this isn't about them. It's not about my kids or grandkids or my family. It's about me. And tonight, it's about you. Not about your kids, your grandkids, or your family, but you. And these are two versions of Cheryl that I'm super proud of just this last year, this past summer. On the right, I climbed the Manitou Incline. And that woman, she is steady, she's strong, and she proves to herself all the damn time she can do hard things. And the other woman to the left is at the Powerhouse Women event. She's confident, she's joyful, and she surrounds herself with women who remind her she's not alone and will lift her up on her darkest days. So today, this is Cheryl. I'm 9 years sober, no more binge eating, mentally clear, emotionally grounded. And I will tell you, a woman who has rebuilt herself after the loss of an 18-year marriage that left me seriously at rock fucking bottom. I have a beautiful life in St. Louis now, and I've been here for 3 years after leaving my hometown in La Crosse, Wisconsin, after 30 years, and also going through a divorce. And I sent my son, my youngest son, 1,000 miles away to school in Boston. Life is not perfect by any means, And I have some seriously hard days, but I live in gratitude every single day. And that's what I want for you. I want a life that finally feels like yours again. And I'm also here to tell you that I didn't just wake up one day with clarity and confidence and happiness and everything's great. No, it has taken years of some trial and error and a lot of freaking tears to realize what was really keeping me stuck. And I see those same patterns that trapped me are the same ones that I see in almost every single woman I work with. And I like to call them roadblocks. They are invisible barriers that make you feel like you're doing all the right things, but somehow you're still not moving forward. So let's dig into the first one and talk about what that roadblock is. And maybe you'll be like, oh, yeah, I totally get that. So, roadblock number one is mistaking that survival for healing. Feel free to drop me in the chat if you can relate to any of this. And we've covered a little bit of this, right? But it looks like powering through the pain. You stay so busy 24/7, right? Except when you're sleeping. Or you're saying, oh, I'm fine when you're not. You avoid vulnerability and you never let anyone see you struggle because you don't want to burden them. And I get it because I did that too. I told you I wore strong like a badge of honor. And people told me all the time, oh my gosh, you're handling it so well. But behind closed doors, I was fucking falling apart. I was a mess. I think back to one of the ladies in one of my earlier cohorts on the outside too. She was the woman doing it all. She was busy with work. She had a leadership position at work. She was handling her household, taking care of the kids, holding everything together, telling everyone she was fine. But at night, when we first started working together, she would do her coaching calls in her car in the garage because she would cry so hard she didn't want her kids to hear her or worry. But here's the truth. Survival tricks you into thinking you're doing okay, but you're really just pressing pause on the pain. And yeah, you're going to get through the day, but you're actually never going to move forward. And that's why so many women tell me, Cheryl, I'm doing everything. Why do I still feel stuck? Surviving isn't healing, it's just a band-aid. I'm here to tell you, and every woman that's worked with me would agree, healing is slow, it's messy, it's so fucking uncomfortable, and it's painful. But it's the only thing that actually lasts. True healing is possible, but it is hard. And it's why many people don't do it. And the second roadblock, the lies. All the lies you've been told about healing, right? You can feel free to drop any of these numbers as we go through them in the chat if you've heard these lies. This is the first one. I hear this one all the time and it makes me cringe. And if you've said these things, please know I'm not judging you because I've probably said them too, right? Time heals all wounds. But let's be true. Let's be real about that. If this was true, we wouldn't still feel the way we do, right? Yes, time helps, but it doesn't do the work for us. Healing actually requires us to like do some work, right? It doesn't time doesn't change it. And then of course there's the pressure, right? Like pressure either we put on ourselves or other people. Well, you should be over this by now. Why aren't you over this? Or just stay busy and it'll get easier, right? But what does that actually do? That just keeps us spinning and feeling more exhausted. It doesn't really heal us. Or maybe some of you may even hear the whispers of, you'll never love again. You're just too much, or you're not enough. And I'm here to tell you, none of these things are true. But if you hear them enough over and over again, what starts to happen? I talk about this all the time in our weekly growth sessions and also in my program. We start to believe the story. That becomes our story in our head. Maybe I should be over this by now. Maybe I should just stay busy. Maybe I am too much, or maybe I'm not enough, right? Again, that self-doubt starts creeping in. So then what do? We get quiet. We go silent. And that keeps us even more stuck. Because here's the truth, ladies. The truth is, healing isn't about time. I wish it was, right? Like, come on. It's not. I had a woman that was divorced for 3 years when she started working with me. And she was like, Cheryl, I should be over this by now. What's my problem? And I said, okay, well, why? What does 3 years mean? Who gave you this timeline? Like, right? If you've been married X amount of years, it should take this amount of healing. Like, what? Like, there's not a timeline. I wish there was, right? It'd make healing and grief a lot easier. And I also know even for myself firsthand, because I will tell you, the first 2 years, like during the divorce process, I was back in Wisconsin and I did stay so busy because I owned my own personal training studio. And I filled my days with work and fitness and so many commitments. My son was a senior in high school and then went to college. But I was so busy, right? Because I thought if I just kept moving forward and being busy, that time would take care of it all. Oh, but here's what I learned. Busyness doesn't equal healing. It just numbs you enough to get through the day until the quiet moments hit and all the pain is still there. So when I moved to St. Louis and I didn't have my studio and I didn't have my friends, guess what I had? I had the pain. I had the silence. And that's when the real healing started. Healing isn't about pretending you're fine or waiting to have it all figured out. Because look, I'm a coach and I'm even here to tell you I do not have it all figured out. I'm still figuring things out along the way. Okay. So if you think I have it all figured out, sorry to burst your bubble, I don't. But it is about being honest with yourself, one step at a time. And maybe we do take 2 steps forward and then 5 steps back, but we don't give up. Healing isn't linear, ladies. Some days you'll feel steady, and the next day you might feel like you just completely fell apart. That doesn't mean you failed. It doesn't take away from any of your progress. It means you're human. And sometimes we need to repeat the lesson. Sometimes maybe we need to put in more work. And the third and final roadblock, I don't know about you, but I would love to know out of all three, maybe which one you resonate with the most. But this one, this one is me, which is so funny. People are surprised when they hear this, but trying to do it all alone. And I've already touched on this, probably 5 times already, about being so strong. But I am considered the strong, independent woman who swore I didn't need anybody. I mean, I was the coach. I taught people how to heal. So, of course, I told myself I could figure this out on my own. And maybe that's you. I say that's often us if we took that role as a child for the oldest, right? Or an only child, or we just harbored a lot of that responsibility. I was also a single mom for 9 years to my daughter. So I was like, I'm Miss Independent. I can heal and do this all on my own. But what really happened is I did the work in my head, right? The reading, the journaling, the podcast, the analyzing. But I didn't do the work in my body. I performed strength, smiled through the pain, and avoided asking for help because I didn't want to look needy or burden anyone. But the sad part is, the more independent that I stayed, the more isolated and disconnected I felt. And that's the trap. When you try to heal alone, you cut yourself off from the very things that can help you heal. Safe and supportive connection. And so for me personally, one of the biggest But also, and I get chills even saying this, the hardest part of the journey was letting other women in to my healing process and bear witness to me. It's one of the reasons you find me often coming into the group crying, emotional, looking like I just crawled out of bed because I probably did, right? Because I want you to know, like, I see you and I want you to see me in all of my shit. Because, ladies, when we let other women in, we lift that shame. That shame will keep you buried. And it's when I realized I wasn't alone and I could trust other women to show up and hold space and support me and love on me and listen to me. And I say it all the time. We do not heal in isolation. We heal in community. And that is why I started this group. There's a lot of divorce groups out there on Facebook, lots of them. I'm not here to put any of them down. I'm members of a lot of them. Joined them way back in 2020. But a lot of them were just venting, bitching. I didn't want that. I wanted a group that could support women, but push us to move forward, to take back our life, because we deserve that. So here's the hard truth, ladies. These three roadblocks aren't the actual problem. They're the symptoms. When I dug deeper with myself and my clients, what I realized underneath all of it, and I see it time and time and time again with the women I coach, the root cause of all of this is loss of self. When your marriage ends, it doesn't just end the relationship. It takes pieces and big parts of you with it. You lose your voice, and that causes you to maybe slip into silence. You lose your sense of self-worth and confidence. And then that sneaky shame comes rolling in. And then you lose that trust in yourself again, right? Where every decision feels like, oh shit, I don't trust myself to even make this decision. That's self-doubt. And so the real root cause of this is our true loss of self. And when you don't feel like yourself anymore, no amount of staying busy, podcasts, books, wine, ice cream, late night scrolling is going to fill that gap. It's not. Trust me, it's not. I've been there and I've coached countless women. But here's the hope. This is what I give you tonight. When you start reconnecting with yourself, everything changes. We break the silence, we kick shame to the curb, and our confidence grows again. I would love to know in the chat who resonates with this? Do you feel like you've truly lost yourself in your divorce? You're like, who the fuck am I? I don't even know who I am anymore. Anyone relate to that? Yeah, yeah. I lost myself in my marriage and don't know who I am. Tanya, yeah. Yes, I have no idea who I am. I know, right? No. And that's why we can listen to the podcast, we can read the books, right? We can do all this shit, but we're like, it doesn't help. It's just more information, right? Some days I feel good, some days I'm lost. Yeah, I know. You do lose your identity, feel disconnected from your children. Yeah, I know. My therapist asked me who Toby is, and I still can't answer that question. I know. I know, ladies. Oh, never thought I would be divorced. Oh, I know. I love being married to a handsome fireman. I wasn't married to a handsome fireman, but I never thought I would be divorced either, and I think we probably could all say that. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing in that chat. I will go back through and listen to all those. I see all those. I'm gonna go back through and listen to those. No, none of us thought we would be divorced. None of us thought we would be here. Oh, thank you for sharing. So that was a lot, right? That was a lot. Let's just take a pause here. This breath, this box breath, maybe you're familiar with it. This is part of the meditation, of the somatic release video that I'll send you. Let's just do that right here. We're going to take a big breath in for 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to hold it for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 1, 2, 3, 4. And just take a big breath in and out. I know that was a lot. And every one of you that share with me, I just hold all of your comments just so close and dear in my heart. So thank you. Thank you. So just want to do a little recap because we've covered a lot. You did that in court, but 5 seconds for Cheryl. Yeah, it could be any amount of time that we want it to be, right? So here's what we know for sure. Survival mode might get you through the day. And sometimes that's what we need, right? We've got work, we've got kids, we've got responsibilities. We do need to get through the day. But pure survival will never get us to true healing. All of the myths and the lies we've been told, the time heals all wounds, you should be over this now, just stay busy. These are the things that are keeping you stuck. I'm going to touch on that, Mary. Hold that thought about God. We're going to go there a little bit further into the class. You can't do this alone. And how do I know that? Because I tried. And it truly was the moment I started to let other women into my healing that everything shifted for me. And finally, the divorce. Of course, the divorce itself isn't the root cause of our pain, right? We want to say it's the divorce that's the pain, but the real wound is the loss of who we are, right? And that's why the healing feels so hard. And that's why the work we're talking about today matters so much. So I don't believe that you're still here by coincidence. If you saw my earlier message today about the women signed up for this class, the number of women in our community, I decided that the women that needed to be here and hear this message were going to be here today. And I believe that to be true. So I believe you are meant to hear this message today. You're still here. You haven't clicked away. You haven't ran away. You've stayed and you've listened. And something tells me that deep down, a part of you knows that it's time. It's time to stop just going through the motions and surviving and getting through the day and to start actually healing and living the life that I believe you were meant to live and to the life and purpose that God has called you to. And I just want to say, pause here on the God thing. I respect and honor all beliefs. I am a Christian. I don't say I'm religious. I say I have a deep and personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And if you are not a Christian, that's okay. You are welcome here. And I say I have enough faith for everybody. But that wasn't always the case, and I'll touch on that. So, all right, ladies. Thanks, Catherine. So, I don't just do these to give you information, right? Right? We talked about the roadblocks. We talked about the loss of self is really the root cause. But here's the deal. Even if you decide not to take another step with me after today, I don't want you to leave here empty-handed. I don't want you to come here and just listen and then be like, life as usual tomorrow. I don't want you to do that. So can you please promise me You will take one of these actions, just like this rooster, one step at a time. If you do nothing else today, this weekend, this upcoming week, the next 3 months, number one, catch the shoulds. Every time you hear yourself say, I should be over this by now, or I should be stronger, I want you to pause because that's not the truth. That's shame. Number two, can you choose connection on purpose? And remember that healing doesn't happen alone. Can you reach out to one person that's safe and just say, hey, I need to talk. Could you just listen? Could I share what's on my heart for you? I'm struggling today. I know it's scary, but sometimes we have to take that first step. Number three, can you take at least 10 minutes for you? Not to check something off your to-do list, not for anyone else, but can you give yourself 10 minutes to breathe, stretch, journal, walk, cry, scream, dance, anything? Number four, can you end each day with proof that you showed up? I call this my doing hard shit list. Write down one way you kept going today. Even if it was just getting out of bed, making it through work, taking a shower, brushing your teeth. Man, when I was deep in the trenches, those things were a big deal. A big fucking deal. One hard thing, right? And then you'll get your list of hard things. And then finally, can you do one thing that's just yours? Something that reminds you that your life belongs to you. It's not your ex's, it's not your kids, and it's not your past. I would love to know which one of these you could commit to. Drop the number in the chat. What do you think would be what would make a difference in your world? Number one, Emily says, catch the shoulds. Yeah, the shoulds. Ugh, number three, take 10 minutes for you. Yeah, Anne, I love that. Yes, yes. Getting my kids to school on time. Yes, yes. 2, 3. Oh my gosh, so many. Yes, yes. And they're hard, ladies. Look, I'm not saying this is easy, right? But healing is not easy. I wish it was. I wish I could come in here and tell you, oh, look, if you do my program, you're going to be healed. Ugh, I wish. No, it's not that easy. You're going to be in a better place. But taking a shower instead of rushing as if it's a chore. Yes, I love that, Anne. That's so true, right? Yeah, a mani-pedi. Oh, Kim, I love that. Oh, the gym. Yes, yes. I had a massage today and Reiki. They were both amazing, right? I love that. I love that so much. The gym. Yes, yes. Thank you, ladies. So there's your 5 things that you could do. But I do want to share with you, oh, taking a trip with a group of people you don't know. I love that, Heather. So I want to share something with you. I want you to hear from some of the women who have already walked this path. These are women who once sat where you are now, wondering if they'd be okay again. And I'm not here to tell you that they are like healed and that their life is perfect, but they have chose to show up and do the work and not do it alone. And this is some of the comments that they've given me. Before the Divorce Recovery Roadmap program, Karen says she felt lost, depressed, and alone. Now she's proud of who she is and finding joy in the next chapter. Dana felt lost and hopeless, and now she's proud of the strength she's building and empowered. Kim felt defeated, and now she's empowered and in control of her life again. Shayna said she felt like a victim, and now she feels strong. And Mandy said before the program, she felt stuck even years after her divorce, but now she has the tools to move forward into a happier, healthier me. So at this point, we've got kind of 2 decisions, right? The first road is the one you know, and it's more of the same. Although I gave you some tools, right? Some things that definitely will help. But I would encourage you to not just keep surviving, but to get out of that survival mode, to stop numbing, to stop staying busy, to stop spinning in the shame, silence, and self-doubt. And the other road, if you would consider, is different. And I say it's the road back to you. It's healing with guidance and tools that actually work. It's being supported instead of isolated, and it's rebuilding your trust in yourself and your confidence. And it's creating a life that is yours again. So you might be wondering, what is the Divorce Recovery Roadmap program all about? Well, I like to say it is not just another program or a list of exercises, but it is a true transformation. It is confidence that lasts, not second guessing yourself. One of my ladies said, I finally can trust myself again. It is support and accountability so that you don't slip back into that survival mode. Because one of my ladies said she didn't fall back into her old habits because she had the support of the group and me. It's friendships that feel like family with women who actually get it. One lady says that these women became my lifeline. It's the courage to do hard things and proof that you can. And as one woman said, Cheryl asks really tough questions. I do. I do ask tough questions because I don't want you to stay stuck any longer. And most importantly, the peace and joy that you thought you lost. That's what you stand to gain in 16 weeks. And it's not perfection and it's not pretending, but it's building confidence and support and courage. All right. So this is where, and I know there's a lot in the chat, and I will get over there. So this is where I want to invite you to take the next step with me. It's a call. It is a 45-minute Pathways to Wellness call. These calls are completely free, and I will drop a link in the chat so you can grab a time. Let's see, you're asking me to multitask here with my chat bar, and let's see, there's my link to my calendar. Okay. So there's the link. And now, because I know tech, right? I know tech is tricky. Ask me how I know, and I got some clients from my cohorts on this, and I know they've been tech challenged, but I'll be the first to admit Cheryl is often tech challenged. So here's what happens. Okay. I'm going to walk you through it. When you click that link, it's going to take you to my calendar. You can walk through this with me if you want, right? It's going to take you to my calendar. I've only got days through the rest of September in there because I've got to work some of my client calls in there as well. So when you click the link, it takes you to my calendar, right? You can pick your day over here, right? It's not going to give you October 2024. It's going to give you September 2025, right? And then you're going to choose a time. So maybe you pick this 9th and you see the times and you're like, oh, those times don't work. You can go back. You can go back to it and pick a different day, okay? So choose your time. Then you pick select, and it's an actual phone call. Like we get on the call. This is not Cheryl's assistant. I don't have an assistant. Well, I kind of have Karen as kind of my helper, but I don't have anybody taking sales calls. Like you get Cheryl. I'm the real deal. I do the calls. I do all the stuff, right? Okay. So that's how you can book a call. I would love to chat with you. So what are we gonna do on the call? You're like, okay, Cheryl, why should I get on this call? Are you gonna pressure me? No, I'm not. I'm really not. That's not who I am, right? So here's what happens on our call. You're gonna get some clarity on what's really keeping you stuck. You're gonna share some parts of your story. Not your whole story, because we don't have 3 days, right? We all have a big story, but you're gonna share parts of your story in terms of where you think that you're stuck, right? We're gonna talk about that. I promise you will feel supported. There is no pressure and there is no judgment, and it's completely confidential. You will have a safe space to share what's on your heart. And maybe for the first time in a safe space. I want to help you see patterns of self-sabotage you might not even realize you have. And I promise you will walk away with some clear next steps, things that are doable and also aligned with where you want to go. This is not a pushy sales call. This is not who I am. This is a private space for you to take a breath, maybe cry, but you'll be heard and supported. And I want to offer you a path forward. So I told you that I would share a little bit on the God piece. This is pretty personal for me. And I never want you to think that I just woke up one day and brought it all together. And this is where I really start to cry. I didn't grow up as a Christian. I didn't grow up in the church. And I got baptized and I felt this strong calling to get baptized. And my 6-year baptismal anniversary is coming up this Saturday on September 27th. It was September 27th, 2019 that I felt called to get baptized at my church, and they were doing it on a Friday night in this big like hot tub, right? And I thought, oh my gosh, my marriage was a little rocky at the time, but I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. God is like baptizing me and my marriage is going to be great. And this is it. Oh my gosh, I'm getting saved and like God's rewarding me. Yes. Yes, I was a naive Christian and I still probably am, right? What I now realized, especially 6 years later, is that God was preparing me for my hardest fucking battle ever. And he knew I was going to need him more than ever, more than I ever did. But I was pissed. I was pissed for a long time. And I argued with him and I said, why my marriage? Why my life? Why did you have to blow up my life? Why not someone else's? And now I can connect the dots. Because what you're seeing on this slide is these are journal entries that I actually wrote back in 2020 and 2021. And I wrote about feeling empty and asking God if I was ever going to be okay again. And I begged him day after day to show me what the point of all of this pain was. And I still sometimes question it because, ladies, this work is hard for me. I pour everything into it. And oftentimes when I hear your stories, my heart breaks for you. And I want to help you. I want to fix you. I want to heal you. But I know it's not my job. I can just help guide you. I can just walk with you, right? I don't share this with you because I want you to feel sorry for me and what I went through, right? I share it because I want you to see what's possible for you. I want you to see that I was there. I was numb, I was exhausted, and I was doubting if I was ever going to feel whole again. So here's what I want you to know. If during our call, I feel that you might be a good fit for cohort 4 of the Divorce Recovery Roadmap, I'll share what that would look like for you. This is the last cohort of 2025. We will launch officially at the end of October and go all the way through the end of February, which means you will have support not just for today, but through every holiday, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, into 2026 and Valentine's. So if something is new is stirring right now, that's not an accident. That is your invitation to take the next step. So I get it. You've been carrying a lot. And look, we got a lot of strong, badass women. I've spoken with some of you, whether it be on our girl sessions or in the group. And I know you can survive it, and you already have, right? But I'm here to tell you that surviving isn't the same as truly living. Surviving is like white knuckling your way through the day, crashing into bed, and doing it all over again. It's almost like Groundhog's Day, right? If you've seen that movie. And I believe you deserve more than that. I deserve, I believe you deserve to feel heard, supported, and not feel so alone. And you don't have to prove you can handle this by yourself. You've already done probably a lot of hard things, but now it's about letting yourself actually heal. So maybe you're sitting here thinking, oh gosh, I don't know if this is really for me. I get it. I do. And I would probably say that's exactly how most, if not all of the women who have been through my program felt at first. They wondered if they were ready, if it would actually work for them, if it was worth the time and the money and the energy. And that's why we talk. That's why this call exists. It's not why I put the link up and say, okay, here, if you want to join, pay here. No, because it's not about convincing you. It's about having a real conversation about where you are, what's weighing heavy on you, and what you want next. And so if it feels like the right fit, we'll talk about the program. And if not, that's okay too. But either way, I promise you will walk away with more clarity than you came into the call with. That is my promise to you. So stick with me. We are just about wrapped up here, but I have just some questions. These are common questions that I get from ladies. These are the questions that I hear all the time. So I thought I would maybe just address some of them, but if you have questions, I will check the chat before we wrap up. So one of the big questions I hear all the time is, what if I've tried everything and nothing has worked, right? The books, the podcast, therapy, divorce care. Look, I get it. I've done all those too, and they're great. But the difference here is that this isn't just more information. It is true transformation. There's tools, there's accountability, and there's a community that doesn't let you stay silent or stuck. And that's why women who thought nothing would work finally find change here. How much does it cost? Look, I get it, nothing is free, right? But the call itself is completely free and there are no strings attached, I promise you. And if the program feels like the right fit, I will walk you through the investment. I will tell you I have 3 tiers. I have super flexible payment options because I do not want cost to be a barrier for you staying stuck. But I'll be honest with you, this isn't just about money. What you're really investing in is having support through the hardest stretch of the year. So instead of white knuckling it through all the holidays, you're going to have tools, coaching, and women who truly support you. So yes, it is an investment, but I believe it's an investment that pays off in your peace, your confidence, and your ability to start 2026 in a completely different mindset and place. And to me, that's invaluable. What if I don't feel ready? Oh man, right? I get this one all the time. But here's the deal. Do we ever feel ready? If you're a parent, did you feel ready to have kids? I didn't, right? Healing doesn't start when you've got it all together. If you had it all together, you wouldn't need to heal, right? But it starts the moment you said yes to yourself. And you don't have to take a giant leap. I promise we will meet you where you're at and we build in baby steps. What if this doesn't work for me? Cohorts 1, 2, and 3, and my one-on-one clients prove that this model works when you show up and do the work. If you engage, if you're willing to be honest, vulnerable, and take action, you will see change. The only way it doesn't work is if you don't show up for yourself. I'm not divorced yet, or it's been years. Does this still fit for me? And yes, it does. Because again, healing isn't about paperwork or timelines. Some of my ladies in the group have been divorced several years. This is about reclaiming you. And I work with women that are in the middle of the legal process to women that have been divorced for several years. And if you're carrying any of the things that we talked about, specifically that self-doubt, loss of self, we need to talk. And then lastly, what if I'm nervous about the group? Yeah, I get it. I get it. The group. And that's normal. And most women are super nervous at first. But here's the truth. The group is what is the fucking gold. It is the gold. It's why I won't ever do this program without the cohorts because you feel less alone. And these women get it. They are your lifeline. They are your cheerleaders, your BFFs, and your safe place to be real. And every single client has told me they started off nervous and they said the group was the best part of it. And in fact, we have all connected so much. We are off to our first retreat in 3 weeks. Many of us leave today. We're leaving for Savannah, Georgia, 3 weeks from today. 12 women who didn't know each other a year ago. And none of us have ever met in person. And we're super excited. That's the community we've built. Those are the friendships we've built. All right, ladies, we've covered a lot tonight, and I can't believe it. I kept to my hour here because we got started at 5 after. So here's the bottom line. You do not have to keep doing this alone. We've talked about the roadblocks. You've heard the truth about the healing. We know the root cause. It's not the divorce, right? It's not. It's our loss of ourselves. So the next step is simple. Book your free call with me. I'll drop the link in the chat. Like I said, I've got my calendar open for the next 5 days. So grab your spot and let's get real. The holidays are coming. The traditions are not going to feel the same. We're going to watch everyone else move on while we stay stuck. But what if this year is different? What instead of surviving, you had tools, support, and women walking with you? And that's what this call opens the door to. So click on the link, pick your time, and let's have a chat. And lastly, I want to just thank you. I want to thank you for showing up tonight. I can't wait to go back and read the chat. Again, I have those 2 bonuses for you. The somatic reset meditation video. You can use it at any time. We do some breath work. We do a little bit of movement, and I have a nice little meditation. And then, of course, my holiday peace guide with the 10 do's and 10 don'ts for divorced women, along with 10 bonus journal prompts that are helpful for the holidays. So I'll send both of those straight to your inbox so you don't lose them. You don't have to worry about going in the chat and downloading them. So keep an eye out for that, okay? I can't wait to connect with you. And I'm going to drop this in the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys booked the calls. Awesome. Okay, there it is. So I just want to open it up for who's ever left. I know we still have some ladies on. If you have questions, I am here to answer. How much is the program? Yeah, that's a great question. So best way I can answer that is let's get on a call, right? Because I do have 3 different tiers, depending on the package and coaching you want. And then I also I do payment plans. Like we don't do any credit, like, it's not credit or anything like that. I do all the payment plans through me and everything. So yeah, I'm happy to talk about that. iPhone 3, if you want to book a call with me, I would love to chat. I dropped the link in there again. Oh, Lisa, I wish insurance would cover it. Oh, that would be amazing. I always say that about personal training too. I wish that insurance would cover it. We can certainly have a conversation if you want, and chat about some different options that might work. Oh, thank you, Kimberly. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, mental health is so important. It is 100%, 100%. One of the things, I've looked at maybe being able to partner with therapists, that might be a future, that to be able to partner with therapists and get something covered. I'm not a therapist, right? I'm not a licensed therapist, but if I went under a therapist, maybe umbrella. So, oh, thank you. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you, Michelle. Thanks, Emily. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. Otherwise, feel free to grab that call with me. You all get first access to a call with me. Otherwise, I will be sending, thank you, April, out an email to anyone that registered. Everybody gets the, yeah, Jennifer, we'll get you those bonuses. Yeah, even if you joined late, we'll get you the bonuses. You made the attempt, right? I get it. We all have a lot of stuff going on. So if you even joined late, yeah, thank you, Diane. But an email will go out with my calendar to other people to book a call. So if you want one, before I offer it up to others. So, but I just want to thank you all again. Next week, we will be back to our growth session. And I don't have a title for it yet. I'm still pondering on the title, but oh, this says fall reset. It's not fall reset. But we're going to talk about um, our part, the part we played in our marriage and in our divorce. Thank you, Jane. Here, look, I didn't even bring out. I always say, like, this is what I bring out. I'm gonna shine the light. Shine the light in the darkness. That's my word for 2025 is light. So I have this little flashlight a client gave me. I know. I'm bouncing all over the place. But anyways, we will be back with our growth session next week, next Thursday, and we're going to talk about the role we played in our marriage and our divorce. And it's not giving them a free pass. It's not saying that what they did was okay, but it's talking about us and how we can change things, how we can do things different next time. So. All right, ladies. Well, I think that's a wrap. Yeah, some good yeah. Oh, same question. Can we do a call even if we're still in the divorce process? It would be self-helpful. Yeah, Amber. So some of Rochelle, you had the same question. Absolutely. Yeah, we've had women in all different stages. Yeah, Kathy said she's part of cohort theory and she's still getting divorced. Mary is part of cohort one and she's still in the divorce process. We have several women that are still in the divorce process, and what they found is having the coaching helps them be able to stay calm in situations where maybe their ex is, the ex or the lawyer is pushing the buttons, or it helps them put boundaries in place. So most definitely, regardless of where you're in the divorce process, you're 6 months out, you're 6 years out. I would welcome a call. I'll drop the link one more time in the chat for you. Great questions. Yeah, great questions. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you. Appreciate that. All my ladies from cohort 1, 2, and 3 showing up and for support. And if you have questions, more questions, and we book a call, I've got something special coming in 2 weeks. If you want to actually talk with women that have done the program without Cheryl around, stay tuned because I will be offering that. You will get to be part of a Q&A panel with some of the ladies from my cohorts that have worked with me, but Cheryl will not be around. So stay tuned for that. All right, ladies, I have taken up enough of your time tonight. I am just sending so much love. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your feedback in here. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go take some deep breaths and finish drinking my tea from Panera. So, all right. Good night, ladies. Thank you so much. Love to you all.